Hey, good evening. Pops here. This is video number 2 in the Jitterbean coffee sign uh, process. I'm going to be making a series of videos kind of documenting how I go through all making this sign step by step. And in this one, we'll be cutting out the letters for the stencil. What I do with these stencils, I have these stencils made full size for my commercial signs. And it makes it a whole lot easier, especially in the case like this one, where this is going to be a two-sided sign. In other words, it's going to be set up so that it can be seen from either direction with vehicles traveling down the road. But having this stencil made makes it a whole lot easier for me to get those lined up exactly in the exact same location from side to side. What I'll do is I'll put on the board, I'll put witness marks top, bottom, left, and right, and I'll put the same witness marks on the sign blank stencil here, and then all I have to do is line up those witness marks, take the sign stencil down, shoot the ink. That gives me the layout that I'm needing to where I need to carve, and then when that ink dries, I can flip the board over. I'll have the witness marks on that side as well. Again, just lay the stencil back down, tape it in place, shoot the ink, and I've got it laid out on both sides, and they are identical back to back, up, down, left, and right, perfectly lined up. The other advantage of having these stencils made is because these are typical commercial signs that are out by the roadway, there's a potential for a car to hit them and damage the signs. Well, if that's the situation, I'll have the stencil here and I'll be able to make them an exact duplicate of the sign that they had. As long as they want to keep that same sign design, they don't have to pay another stencil fee to have it made. I'll keep the stencils here in my shop, and I keep them protected. And so that way, if I need to make another one, I can do it. This saves me hours of layout time. If I were to try to lay these letters out individually on the sign face, it would take me a couple of hours to get it laid out exactly where I wanted it and how it's trying to duplicate what was in the drawing that Kelly approved. And then I got to turn it over and do it on the other side. And that'd be virtually impossible to get it lined up. So making these stencils is, for me, it's the best way to do it. There may be other ways that other sign makers go about doing this, but for me, this is the best way. It does cost a little bit to have these stencils made, but to me, the expense of having this made versus the hours of time that I'm going to save in laying out, it's well worth it. So anyway, when it comes time to cut out these letters, in this particular sign, the word coffee, the letters are basically spelled out using, looks like coffee drips and little coffee bean shapes. Now, I'll carve out the basic shape of the letter. And then when it comes time to do the carving, I will have a rendition of this drawing in front of me that I'm doing the carving. And then I will actually carve in the details of the little coffee beans and the drips so that it's a reasonable facsimile of what Callie wanted in her design to look like. But again, this is the second video in the Jitterbean Coffee Company series. Video number 3 will probably be when I go to laminate the sign blanks, and then you'll get a better idea of how big this thing is going to be. The inside dimensions, there's little brown lines here and here all the way around. That represents a 3 foot by 4 foot dimension, which is 12 square feet, which is the maximum approved by the city of West Columbia. So we're going to be exactly to the limits of what they're going to allow us to have. And the city's already signed off. Everything's good to go. So it's just a matter of me getting it done. So without further ado, I appreciate you stopping by. And again, this is video number 2 of the Jitterbean coffee sign.